Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm Lovecasting live from the Serious Story Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And this is your Thursday Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is Christopher Oteki. I am your host, life coach, and a psychic astrologer. I call myself the Sensei to Serious Joy. That's because I'm here to stand in my heart and help others stand in theirs. This webisode is for Thursday, November 19th, 2015, and today the sun has progressed to step 27, Scorpio. Now that means it is time to act, my friends. Step 27 is the step of action and reaction. And I would not be too surprised, shooting this show a little ahead of time, if we don't have some sort of official world action. Considering there's a lot of military action going on in the world right now. With this step 27, something might happen, something might profound, either the night before or up until the day after this particular step. And with the sun in Scorpio, that's the human dimension of boundaries, so the dimension between dimensions, the dimension that defines the dimensions, that's the power of Scorpio. This action could be could indicate a lot of change. Now, in your particular life, it means it's time to take action. In the last 24 hours, I had encouraged you to make a decision based on flow, not fear. And now today, I say let it act, open it up, let's make it happen. And that brings us to today's topic, which is one of my favorite topics, mastering action, the art of step 27. Step 27 actually is a step that's dear to my heart because I myself have my midheaven at step 27, Aries. And wherever your midheaven is in your particular natal chart will tell you where you are pointing to work. This is your model degree, what you're working to be in this life. And with the step astrology, I bring it down even to the final degree and architecture of the incarnation. Step 27 is a master of action because 2 plus 7 makes 9. And action is ruled or is the number of 9. So it is the master step. And it gives us the architecture of incarnation of how to master action. And it also gives me my step of how to stay in step with myself. So in my personal Sensei service and in the new one I'm launching and in my own life, I look at the midheaven step degree, step number, to determine the posture we must attain all the time. And I kind of feel like that in a British way. The posture we must attain it all the time. So mastering action, step 27, it says it right there. Step 2 is I feel, step 7 is I sense. Put your psychic 7 on your feelings. That's basically it. And then what? Well, when your feelings and your psychic side both agree, you act. So a master of action lives listening in meditation of one's emotion and psychic awareness. It is basically the Yoda pose. When you sit in the Yoda pose, you are listening for your feelings and your sense to say, now is the time to act. Today, I say to you, my friend, that you probably should take an action in your life. You probably should move forward with something important. Sometimes it's important to, actually, not just sometimes. What I teach in the 11 Steps of Serious Joy is that if you don't act, it won't happen. So law of attraction is bringing the opportunity. If you don't take the opportunity, you just missed your law of attraction. Okay, like you missed the bus. And you can. People don't get on their own creation all the time. They bring it right to them. They turn it down. They're too afraid or whatever, or they're not ready. So taking action, leaping, telling the universe you want it so much you're going to start walking out the door if the universe doesn't bring it to you. This is, I think, part of manifestation, part of the activity of us being on stage. So today you want to take action. Here are a couple of questions to ask for your 5 o'clock question. Where are you clumsy in life? Where are you clumsy in life? So clumsiness comes from when you take action and it fails. So something not going right there. Not mastering action in that sense, are we? Where are you clumsy? And the follow-up, at that moment of clumsiness, Where was your mind? Okay? So, where am I clumsy in life? I'll answer this question myself. I am clumsy whenever I'm carrying food. I don't know why. I spill coffee everywhere. It's all over my shirt. It's food everywhere. Like, I need a full-time person behind me. And I don't, and I try. Like I do try. I had the worst. Like, I almost got to wear a bib sometimes. That's just part of the nature of who I am. And maybe that's why I'm trying to master action at step 27, right? So, well, at that moment, where's my mind? My mind is anywhere but what I'm doing, so I know that's part of the problem. And it's certainly not in the master action of pose, which is step 27. So, basically, to master action, one must be in touch with their feelings and their psychic senses at the same time. Whether you are performing something, walking a tight wire, what is that tight wire, rope walker, paying attention to? His or her feelings and psychic sense, like, am I going to die? 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 Like, that basically every step. Am I going to die? Am I going to die? That'd be me asking God, am I going to die? And the answer is no. Then I take another step, right? We walk, and things are illuminated. So without further ado, let's take a look at the planets and how it might affect you and talk to my guides. So they bring up Jupiter and Mars, which is interesting, and I'm like, because, well, Mars is obvious. Mars is today's a day of action. Today we will take action. So with Mars today, the action we take will be re-evolutionary. Mars is at step 4 Libra, and so whatever action you take, this will be one small step for you, one more bigger leap for your kind, or one big screw up. So today they're showing me is not a day to not take action if you want your Jupiter. Remember yesterday I said, what do you want to light cast in 2016? What do you want to create as your reality? Well, this is what we're talking about here. Take action. Stand up for yourself. Do it in the next 24 hours, especially in Scorpio. And it's funny because even people be like, oh, what a biatch for drawing lines. And that's what everyone's always afraid of, is being called a biatch. Don't worry. Once the sun gets into Sag and it's Thanksgiving time, everyone gets all rosy and forgets about those things. And we're going to have our life change so much anyways. Everyone's always afraid. But in Scorpio, it's like everyone knows everyone was biatchy. So everyone kind of forgives everyone. But today with Mars at step 4, take action. Do not let yourself down. Do not let your mirage to yourself down in the next 24 hours. The sun, Mercury is ahead of the sun, so our mind is ahead. And what's holding us in place to take action? What are you holding on to when you're taking action? What's the rail? The rail is you've made a decision, and so you're going to act on it. And so you will screw up the action if you try to second guess the decision. You will fall off the bike if you let go of that decision. So that decision is the architecture of pulling it off. You don't let go. And that's why I take decisions so seriously with the bright star in the sky, right? So hold on to your decision. Now, what's interesting is that Saturn, which is the serious maker of decision making, has moved to step 6 in the last 24 hours. So what this means is, actually it moved you there yesterday, but I didn't report on it. What it means is that things are, once you make this decision, we are flowing, step 6, with the new religion. I love this me franchise, and our new beliefs, whatever this path is going to be. And it's going to be an interesting one indeed with some of the stuff I see going on in the world. So recognize that it could be that you believe differently and that leads to a decision. It could be a decision that leads to believing differently. The moon moves into Pisces today, which is compassionate, and you must be very compassionate to yourself in order to pull this off. Now, compassion is step 7 in the 27. 7 is compassion. 7 is Pisces. 7 is the Holy Spirit on earth anyways. And so the moon is illuminating this 7, and the moon itself is too. So you can see it is really all a spiritual cause here. And to some degree, a lot of because the moon is in the lower degrees of Pisces during our decision-making day, this means our decision is one of self-compassion, one of self-mercy, okay? if you're not making a decision of self-compassion or self-mercy, you should not be making decisions based on compassion and mercy for others. And I'm not saying not to make a decision based on compassion and mercy to others. I'm saying it's out of step according to the architecture of incarnation. You should never be out there in the world being compassionate to others when you have failed to be compassionate to yourself in the first place. You're out of integrity, technically. You're preaching and doing what you're not receiving. So it also just ends up stumbling it down. So whatever you end up deciding will likely be some sort of decision that is a grant of compassion for yourself, a grant of mercy for yourself, making your life easier instead of harder just because you can. And that's the way your fairy godmother or God or your guardian angel or whatever you want to call on the other side that loves you, whatever you want to use, that's what they would do, right? That is our example. The last thing that really resonates, and I'll say it again, if you are on the right path, you are likely breaking rules. You are likely re-evolving. You are likely not the way you were born, not the way you were taught, not the way you were educated, and probably against the grain. We are at a point, my friend, my light walker friend, that if you walk in the light, you will probably not be next to the common man or woman. All right? And I'm not saying the common man or woman is not in the light. I'm saying that all of our architecture of our current society does not drive people into their heart. It drives people away from it. So you must, light walker, live in your heart and listen now to what it tells you. Okay. I've got a big old airplane coming over now. Such a grateful position I have in life to help people and guide them at the important times. Remember, I do love you. The greatest gift you can give back to me is to share me with your friends and family. If you care, please do share. You can visit me at soulgarden.tv where you can leave a comment. I love to hear from people and shake their digital hand. And I will be back in 24 hours with more. Until then, remember, I love you and live, love, be.